Hi everybody, it's coming up to 4 p.m. Brisbane time on Friday the 5th of May, and I'm getting ready to get into the ring with the Australian index, the ASX 200. Now this cash market is about to close in 30 minutes, so this is more of a view towards the next week. So let's start with the higher time frame. Now on the higher time frame, on the monthly chart, this is what I really like about this index. If you take a look at the major highs of each of these moves, they try to break this 76.50 really strong resistance, but what we can see if we zoom in a bit is that every high was actually lower than the previous high, so it came just as close into that area but couldn't continue higher. So that to me is a more of a bearish sign. You can also see the lows here were making a lower low, although this is quite a strong rejection candle. So this is from the monthly point of view. Going down into the weekly, what we can spot is that we are making here lower highs. The one thing that I don't like about this scenario and the case for the short is the fact that we went slightly higher than this previous high, the last place that the sellers pushed lower. But if we'll just jump very quickly into the 1 hour and have a look at that area, that candle that came up into that area, we can see it was the candle Monday morning opening of the market at 9 a.m. So it could be just a spike, but it is something to point out. Now back into the weekly. So we do have a lower low here on the weekly, pulling back. Resistance once again at the 7400 is a strong resistance on this market, and we pushed lower. We even broke that 7200 area as well, and currently we're pulling back. Looking at the momentum indicators, they're very nicely converging to the downside. So my long, my medium and my short term are all pointing to the downside. Down into the daily chart, and this is where I really like this scenario and I'm getting excited about this fight. So what we have here is a lower high on the daily, and I love the fact that it's almost pulled back 100% but not quite, and then crashed through it. Not only did we broke this previous support resistance area around the 7280, we also continued lower as well. The next day closed lower, and then a follow-up day we also went slightly lower before starting the pullback. So I like this scenario a lot, and this could be the beginning of the move lower, but because this is just the start, it might be more activity and more fights between the buyers and the sellers around that area. Now on this area I drew the Fibonacci retracement of the latest move, and we can see that the 61.8% retracement clustering very sweetly with this level of resistance around the 7280. So how am I planning this fight card? So I'm looking for this opponent to pull back into the 7280 area. Then I'm looking for signs that this pullback is over. So any signs that the sellers are gaining control, so lower highs or the lower time frame, compressions of price, last hurrah, and then a breakdown below this level, whatever the market would want to throw at me, as long as I see signs that the sellers are taking control, I'll be very happy to join this ride. Now keeping in mind that we could see buyers coming back up around this 70-60 area, the breakout area to the upside, simply because we did make a slight higher high here from this previous high. I like this market for the short. However, I need to see that indeed sellers are coming back into the market around this area. So it's a wait and see at the moment, because there are still some element that points to buyer strength. I want to see that they got nothing left in their tank, they're exhausted everything that they had, and then I'll be looking to join the direction to the downside. If, however, the market decides to trade above the 7400 and break these previous two highs, then I'll be stepping out of the ring and look for another opponent. Happy knockouts everyone, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye for now.